cotton, king cotton by the Americans is coming back, and this is to our benefit. Finally, we have black gold, which is petroleum. We produce today 450,000 barrels per day, and this is destined to grow to 1 million very shortly. Most of this is in the south. The north has about a quarter, 25%, in the uncontested areas. But we have other resources in the west who are producing now. We have 3 pipelines running from the south, from the west to the terminal in Port Sudan, the Red Sea. There are over 10 concessions, or about 10 concessions in the north, mostly onshore. One of them is offshore. And the exploration is going all over the Sudan. There are 2 major concessions in the south. One Australian company was there and they opted out. I don't know why. It's called OMV. There is still room for investments in exploration by buying into the present very large concessions and by further development of the upstream operations, pipelines, export terminals, etc., etc. There is a growing boom in infrastructure in Sudan. Roads have doubled from 3,000 kilometers to 6,000 kilometers in the last few years. We need infinitely more roads because this is a huge country. About the third of one United States and about, I think, all of Western Europe. All of Western Europe. The size of Darfur alone is all of France. You hear it on the news. Sudan is an area which encompasses the whole of Western Europe. We have just finished finished a dam, which is a $2 billion project financed by the Arab funds, and there was to be an Australian presence there, but for some reason they just withdrew a few days before the whole thing was awarded. And we are engaged now in 3 other similar projects: the heightening of the Roseres Dam, the rehabilitation of the Sinnar Dam, which is a very old dam, and the building of a new Sitate Dam on the eastern border. We do everything in a very major way. In this respect, we like to liken ourselves to the United States. We are not just, as you might get the impression, we are just a company which is slowly coming and doing things in a very rudimentary, elementary way. We always do things in a big way. And we need electricity over, that's why we are going for dams. And although our stock was very, very poor before about 15 to 20 years, only megawatts, 500 megawatts of electricity, it has gone up to 5,000 megawatts in the last 10 years alone, because demand is growing at 22% per year. So what do we need? In short, we need foreign investments in a very big way. We also need management. The Sudanese economy is beset with the problem of low productivity. As I told you, we produce a lot of everything, but we do it in a very rudimentary way. For example, lands under agriculture is 50 million fadas, which is half an acre, 25 million acres. But the productivity is so low. From this area, actually, you can grow such huge amounts of crops to feed the whole of the Arab world. Actually, Sudan has been chosen by the United Nations, a United Nations panel, as one of the 3 countries which can solve the food problem for the world, which is Canada, Sudan, and Australia. But we are beset by this low productivity. The picture, this picture is actually for the north and for the south, but in the south it's even more, I should say, problematical. The south has very fertile arable lands. It has water in plenty from so many rivers. It has oil, petroleum, but it has next to nothing in terms of infrastructure and services. So they have problem growing this. So the South, whether unified or separated, needs a lot of investments. So what we need for the Sudan is investments, more so in the South. But this is a growing company, country. I may have given you the impression that the Sudan is a country waiting for the others to kick it started. But this is not the true story. I will give you some statistics from the World Bank. It's not our statistics. The ambassador has alluded to some of them. And here I am quoting, Sudan is enjoying the longest 10 years of continuous growth since 1999. The average of growth during the whole period was 8%. I interject here. Actually, growth started in 1990, 20 years ago. And in spite of the war and the drought years. And the average of growth at the preceding 10 years was about 5 to 6 annually. Go back to the World Bank, the GDP grew 5 times in 10 years. The GDP grew not by 20%, not by 6%, not by 8%. The whole thing was multiplied 5 times. 500%. A mathematician told me. It grew from 10 million US dollars to 53 million between the years 1999 to 2008, the year of the crisis. But even within the crisis, we are growing at that average 10%. Our budget was declared yesterday for the 2011, and they project 5% growth. The per capita income has doubled during that period from 330 to nearly 600, the same period. The World Bank attributes this surge to petroleum, discovery of petroleum. Of course, petroleum has given the country a lot of new resources, but actually the GDP during the preceding period, as I said, grew 5 times. And after that, also 5 times. This indicates a very important fact. Sudan is a very vibrant country with a very enterprising people, our greatest asset. This is our greatest asset, and that is why even the World Bank says the country has become very attractive to foreign investments. According to the Inter-Arab Guarantee Corporation in Kuwait, Sudan, up to the mid-90s or late 90s, was the #1 country in the Arab world for attracting investments. Now we rank #4, not because we went below, but because since that time, some of the oil-producing countries in the Arab world got huge amounts of oil proceeds. Qatar, not Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Oman, possibly. So we have now retreated to the #4 agreement. But that means fundamentally we are attracting a country which attracts. We have attracted during these times investments in 3 telecommunication companies, totaling $16 billion. We have attracted 5 cement factories, 30 new universities. 30 new universities. There were 5, and now in each state, Sudan is divided, is a federal country. In each state, we have at least 1 university. In Khartoum state, which is the major state, we have 12 universities. And we have, during that period, increased the road network from 3,000 to 6,000. For us, this is not a strain. Apart from the lucrative opportunities I mentioned, Sudan enjoys a very liberal investment code, which is actually upgraded every few years to make it much more lucrative for foreign investments, much more liberal. We are a very liberal country. For example, we have a stock exchange. Nobody has heard of it. Very few people have heard of it. And we can trade foreign stocks, and Sudanese stocks are traded in some of the Arab stocks. So actually, we are in this respect, we are much more liberal than some of the European stocks exchanges. This is backed by a very well-established banking sector, which started in the 19th century, and an established legal system, which has its roots in the common law, the English common law. The Sharia laws, which really predominate in Sudan, has enhanced this situation. They have not detracted from them or degraded any of the legal system or the legal tradition in the country. But let me say it again. What we need most is foreign investments, money and management. We need management even more than money, because good management can find good investment, can find the money everywhere. You here in Austria can provide both. So I urge you to do so for your benefit and ours. This is a win-win situation. Thank you very much.
Excellency, thank you very much for those wonderful views about the Sudanese economy. Colombo Symposium, I would like to add, asked me before weeks to invite an Arab country to this symposium to contribute to it. And let me say to you, not Saudi Arabia, nor United Arab Emirates, nor Qatar and other countries were the first idea I had to bring land to this symposium, but Sudan. I visited Sudan 1993. I finished my master and went to Sudan because of some business for my father. And it was the first impression about the people there which has touched me. I went out of Khartoum and we were in a farm in the near of Khartoum, and I met the people, and the people are very kind and nice people, I can say it to you. There is no separation between ministers, ambassadors, and normal people. They are sitting together, eating together, men and women, and it was a very nice cleanup for me. So,
men and women, there is no separation.
No separation. So then I left Sudan, and after 9 or 10 years, I went to Sudan again, and it was totally different. The currency became stable. The Ministry of Finance has given guarantees for trade. There were a lot of inter-Arab guarantee programs coming from Kuwait, Saudi Arabia to support, to cover the risks of Sudan, and also Sudan itself covered a lot of the risk via Ministry of Finance and the National Bank of Sudan. And this is, by the way, the effort of this gentleman. So if he is proclaiming he is full to getting twice a minister of Sudan, I'm saying to you, no, this is not the way. Somebody else is who will let you go out of this ministry because he was a very enormous input to the Sudanese finance. Second point I would like to point out is, and this is just a view I have because I'm trying to build bridges between Austria and the Arab countries. Of course, Sudan is one of the largest, we have heard, with a population of nearly 40 million inhabitants. Well, we might in Europe, and I'm located since years in Europe, have a view saying we have technology, we have a lot